All right, today we're going to talk about a type of person you definitely know. They're not the ones holding court at the center of the party. They're the ones on the edge, taking it all in. We're diving into the 5 rare traits of the quiet observer.
So, let me just ask you this. Think about the last time you were in a big group. Was your first impulse to jump right into the middle of the conversation? Or did you kind of hang back, perfectly happy just watching, just listening to the rhythm of the room?
If that just made you go, yep, that's me, well, there's a name for that. It's not just a passing mood, it's a genuine personality style. You might be what we call a quiet observer.
Okay, so let's get into it. First things first, we need to be really clear about what being a quiet observer actually is, because, let me tell you, it is often misunderstood. This is the most important thing to get straight right away. This is not about being shy. Shyness comes from a place of anxiety or fear. Being a quiet observer, that's totally different. It's a preference. It's literally about the way your brain is wired to take in the world.
So, if it's all about brain wiring, how does that actually work? Let's pull back the curtain a little bit and see what's really going on inside an observer's mind.
You know, at the very core of this whole personality type is one powerful mental tool that they're using all the time, probably without even realizing it.
And here it is. The big word is metacognition. Now, I know, it sounds super academic, but it's actually pretty simple. It just means you have the ability to think about your own thinking. It's the engine running their entire inner world.
Here's a great way to put it. You're not just having a thought. You're sort of stepping outside of it and looking at it. You're asking, why did I think that? Does that actually make sense? And how does that connect to this other thing I know?
And that constant self-analysis leads us straight to our very first trait, a mind that is just naturally prone to deep thinking. An observer doesn't just hear what you say, they're busy processing it, looking for patterns, and building a whole mental model before they even think about speaking.
So we get what's happening on the inside, but how does that translate to the outside world? You know, how do they handle a real-life social situation?
To really get this, we're going to use this amazing analogy. And trust me, it comes from a place you would never expect. It has to do with how some people get comfortable enough to fall asleep.
This just nails it, doesn't it? Think about a side sleeper. Before they settle in, they might turn to face the door, just instinctively scanning the room to feel safe. Well, the quiet observer does the exact same thing, just socially. They hang back, they scan the room's emotional vibe, the social dynamics, before they decide how or even if they're going to jump in.
And that brings us to our second trait, a preference for careful observation. See, for the observer, the goal isn't always to participate. The goal is to understand. They're like social detectives, gathering clues and reading the room before they make their move. It's a strategy, not shyness.
So, it's easy to see someone being quiet and think they're standoffish or just not interested. But honestly, that could not be further from the truth. Their way of connecting is just different. It's all about intention.
If you're an observer, you probably feel this one in your soul. Small talk, the weather, what you did last weekend. It can feel like a total performance, and it just drains your social battery for no real reason.
Which leads us to trait number 3, a deep preference for depth over small talk. Observers aren't looking to collect 100 acquaintances. They're looking for a few really good quality connections. And when they listen, they're not just waiting for their turn to talk. They are actually trying to hear you. They want that real, meaningful stuff.
All right, so we've got deep thinking, careful observation, and a preference for depth. So what? What does all that add up to? Well, let's talk about the observer's hidden strength, their superpower, really. Let's just connect the dots here. All that deep thinking, it leads to our 4th trait, amazing clarity. They can cut right through all the noise. And their careful observation, that leads to our 5th trait, incredible insight. They see the little things that everyone else misses. And that focus on intentional connection, well, that builds deep, lasting trust.
You know, we live in this loud, fast-paced world that seems to celebrate the loudest voice, the quickest comeback. But the quiet power of the observer, that ability to see clearly, to understand deeply, and to build real trust, that is not only rare, it's incredibly valuable.
So I'm just going to leave you with this one question to think about. In a world that is obsessed with speaking, have we forgotten the immense power that comes from truly, deeply listening? What might we all learn if we just took a moment to be the observer?